Oh, okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Kaze-kan podcast. I'm your host, Ed Tama23.
And I am Mean Mug. So much salt.
All right. Um, yeah, so I'm finally back from a CeliaCon. It was a convention I went to recently with my wife and her family. It was a Tales of series based convention. It was all right for the most part. I got a little bit of swag, and I got some, mostly just pins and buttons. Nothing really like major. And I didn't really go to any of the. Oh my gosh, the panels, because it was
I
a.
didn't get no leather, Joe.
Yeah, no. They actually the hotel that was hosting it, actually the bar area, actually made drinks, tales of themed drinks. Like you can get an apple gel, orange gel, and their alcoholic beverages with that said flavor. It's nothing special, but still, it was kind of cool that they added that little thing to it. Um, yeah, it was just like if you had to be a real Tales of junkie to enjoy this con because uh, we when we got there, I was exhausted because I drove all the way over there, and it it was fine. We got there pretty with no real hassle. It was actually a really small convention. I think it's one of the smallest conventions I've ever been to, but I think they said that was a really big turnout for them. So there's even though it's small compared to something like it's like it is a ant compared to like something like Comic Con. But if you in your local area, I'm pretty sure that there wherever you live, to the listeners, wherever you live, I'm pretty sure there's like a small con out there. Or examples would be like MomoCon, Anime Matsuri. So those are pretty big compared to this one. This one was only not even a whole like first floor. It was just one little area, and they didn't have no dealer room. It was just an artist alley, and the artist alley didn't even last that long because they were going to use it for another panel. But there was a game room for console like video games and tabletop. There was two different rooms. The game one had set up a bunch of Tales of games from different generations, from PS1, the Fantasia, Destiny, Legendia, uh, Abyss, the Vesparia, Zillia 1 and 2. So pretty much on one side you had all the Tales of games. And then on the other side you had a setup for Lethal League Blaze, a really decent game. I recommend anybody who's interested in it to play it. It's a real fun game, real fun party game. Smash, Beat Saber, and some fighting games for the PS4. Um, there were some pretty decent artists. I got some. I didn't really get a lot of prints, and my wife had a table there, and that's the whole reason why we went. I think we had a really decent turnout. I wish we could have done better. There was a print that my wife made that I was kind of disappointed that it didn't do as well as it did. And I know I seem like I'm rambling, but I said I was going to talk about it, and who, um, yeah, and you can ask Mug. I actually got him a, I would say one of his favorite characters, which, mind you, was really
Man,
hard to find. It took
I
me,
appreciate it.
yeah, it was a small art, like it's a small artist alley, and the
I
fact,
actually asked him if he could take a picture of Mormo if he can find a wild one lying around. But we'll see if he found one. That fan, that's a dedicated fan right there.
yeah, and the I only got one picture. Because we stayed in the artist alley or in the game room, and all the cosplayers were like, there was one contest and I didn't stay long because I had to go get the food. So I was pretty much the designated make sure everything's in order guy. So I didn't really celebrate the con. But it's fine that I didn't. I'm not a huge Tales of fan. I like the series. There's some characters that I find really interesting. I wouldn't mind. I plan to stream the games on my Twitch channel, but
Stream which game?
definitely I want to stream Destiny, Tales of Destiny for the PS1. I didn't know there was a remake for it on the PS2, but that's one I really definitely want to play. Um,
Did they ever finish translating that though? Because I remember someone was trying to translate the PlayStation 2 port, but I don't
I
remember
I
if they
uh,
ever finished it.
I think they're still like haven't got to it. I've looked up a YouTube channel, and somebody's like, I can't wait. They're almost done or translating, but the comment was from a while back. So as far as I know, I'm not sure, but it's one of those. Abyss is another one I wanted to tackle.
Oh,
Um,
I can help you with that one.
yeah. I know. My PC can emulate it. I have actually, I have Abyss and Legendia on on the side. I borrowed them from my wife's brothers, and
Man, I wish I had me like a new 3DS because it's a weird thing to where if you play Abyss on a new 3DS, it actually goes for like a full 60. But if you got like an old DS, it's actually capped at 30, which is like,
oh
that
really? I
hurts.
have the new 3DS. I've never noticed it.
Yeah, I had to play through because I have an old DS and I've never got me like a new DS.
I see.
And I was able to beat it at 30. It was painful though.
Yeah. Um. So overall, it was a really good convention. Dallas sucked though. Driving in Dallas was the roads in Dallas are bad, and I thought it was just me.
You just
Uh,
you just went a certain way.
no, but the thing is that I wasn't the only one who complained about it. Yeah, I I know you've probably been to Dallas more than I have, but I'm just saying it was
Constantly,
it
it's
was just
just
the
it's that one
construction
road that you don't take at a certain time of day.
which we
And
took,
for what you tell it to be, you probably were there.
and yeah, but like there's a lot of one ways inside the city of Dallas. That's what I didn't like. But like it's no different from any major metropolis area, but it's more along the lines of I've been driving on the open road. So I actually liked driving on the open road. I'm telling you, I actually liked it. It was really relaxing. But getting
Because
into the
people actually know how to drive on the
well,
open road.
well, it's because there's no real. The only the only thing I'm ever actually worried about on the open road is the car not working. Because if you don't we made sure the car was in top condition before we leave. Which advice to anybody going anywhere outside, if they're going to actually drive there, make sure your car is in decent condition to go outside of the just city. Because a 30-minute drive is way different from a 3-hour drive. A 3-hour drive doesn't feel like a 3-hour drive. It feels like you've been driving for way more hours than that. But
Eh, it's different for me. But then again, I'm used to like moving around and shit a lot. So
oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it's different. Anyway, so I think the characters I mostly got. I got I got some Leon merch. I got Rudy, who is the character that makes me want to play Destiny. I got a little figure of her. I got this little button of her, and I also have this keychain of Stan and Rudy. Uh, but my wife's brother, he was the one that got a watercolored, it, only it was like a one of a kind watercolored portrait of Velvet. Really cool. He won it through a raffle, so he didn't buy it. So it's kind of cool that he won one of the major prizes there. I think he had the most fun with it. Um, he stayed up the most to do. He did a they had a D&D campaign where you can play as some Tales characters. And he was pretty much me and him were not necessarily dominating, but when it came to playing Smash Brothers, we were like the last few standing. So I know I got a lot better, but that's because I've been playing with him and his older brother, who I can never really beat. I can only beat him through cheesing with like small character like Duck Hunt. But I'm getting off track. Um, so it was pretty cool. A lot of the people were nice there at the artist alley. I think again, the people that I took there, who her family have been big Tales of fans. I feel like this was a perfect convention for them, and I kind of wish that their older brother went along because I think he would have enjoyed it. But because he got a new job, he wasn't able to go. So we got him some cool stuff, and yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was just a very small convention. There was only like one celebrity there, and it was the voice actor for Lloyd in Symphonia 2.
I wish it was the OG Lloyd, the one I forget his name, the one that was also in Mission Hill,
Yeah, but he's also in Robin from Teen
or
Titans.
yeah, Robert the Teen Titans was like,
Yeah, but this guy was pretty cool. Like he was real nice. We actually ran into him in the hall. He was just walking casually, and he was like, "Hey," and we're like, "Oh, hey," and then it just like it clicked with me like, "Oh, that was him." I think I'd freak out a little bit more because I don't know a lot of voice actors.
eh.
I've only met a few, and the ones that I talked to in other conventions, I met see this I'm bad with names, and I met Makoto's voice actor from P5. She was nice. Oh, it was great talking to her. I think I was like a babbling idiot because I was just like because I had all these buttons of Makoto on my like badge, but like I didn't know I
Yeah.
forgot she voiced A2 in Nier. So she was like, "Oh, hey, you also have her." And I was like, "Oh, I do." And I also had a a picture because there was a cosplayer there, and I liked her Gage cosplay from Borderlands 2, and that's when she told me her voice actress was there, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I had all this stuff of people she voice acted.
Hey, you handled it better than I would.
Oh
Because
yeah,
this
because you're
reminds me of a long time ago when me and our guests from the previous episode, we were just walking around the dealer room, we just looking around at random stuff, and then all of a sudden we just see Johnny Young Bosch just sitting in the chair, and I was like my boy, my boy, that's a Black Ranger, that's Ichigo, that's.
oh I
And he walked. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, my hero."
oh Johnny Young Bosch is so cool. I went to
I,
his panel
I was
in
nerding out hard.
2013 in Matsuri, and he was
Still
just
got a good poster of Ichigo signs, autographed. I'm
yeah.
holding on to that one.
My cousin bought his band CD.
Yeah.
But he was a great guy. It was just awesome hearing like behind the scenes of during the Power Rangers movie or just anything his life story. He jumped on the table and yelled, "It's morphin time!" And he's like, "See, it doesn't work." He's a real cool guy. And Matt Mercer was there too. He was hosting the cosplay contest, and he was even cosplaying as Resident Evil 6 Leon. I want to say it was him. Uh, but anyway, I didn't know that she's also. Oh my gosh, how do you pronounce her name? Sword Art Online 2 Sword Art Online 1 main character, Asuna.
Asuna. Yeah.
Yeah, she's Asuna's voice too in the English dub.
Mm.
And the thing is, most people would probably go up to her for that or Sailor Moon, because she plays a Sailor Venus.
New or old?
Not the old one. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, it's like she must got some range.
She's no, she's an awesome person. She's just real fun. Like she's real. I don't know. It was just
I'm
really
just
fun
thinking
talking to her.
how old Sailor Moon is, and then going coming to Sword Art. I was like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, are you talking about the OG one
Yeah, I'm not
or the
sure.
new one?
Um, but again, it was a decent convention. I think we just I mostly did it for them because they're big Tales of fans, and I learned a lot what people want at these conventions when we do more artist alley. People, those have you heard of Ida bags?
No, but I know what they want. They want more of their waifus.
No, 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 no. See, that's the no, 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 no. That's what I thought. But the male to female ratio was like outweighed. Like if you made guy characters, if you but they want charms, they want buttons, they want stuff to put in that bag, that Ita bag, because it's this weird new trend that's going on, where it's no different from a guy wearing like everything of his favorite waifu character, but it's all in this convenient little cute little purse for, and it's like sweeping, like it's a sweeping trend that's going on, and if you have people's favorite characters, you're almost guaranteed to like make money, cha-ching. But you need to make stuff like buttons and like charms, and we made these. They made some prints, and they didn't really do as well as their buttons. And I wish we made. And I think the thing is, if we make some charms for next year, we might be, doing some really good business. Anyway, but that's all said and done. We came back, and oh, I was so tired. I was so exhausted. I was so glad that I put in my 2 weeks for where I worked before I got there, and all I did been doing was watching Fallout lore videos, just and playing Fallout 4. I don't know, like it's funny because I said I was gonna be streaming the Tales of games, but I've been so tired. I haven't even been wanting. Like I've been putting down everything I said I was gonna do, and it has just been so ridiculous. And I should be doing my homework on these Tales of games, but here I am just playing Fallout. You know.
Yeah, speaking of Fallout, I don't even want to talk about the tragedy that is Fallout 76.
Oh yeah, no that. And to be honest, I wasn't really interested in it because it was a MMO, and like even the Elder Scrolls Online didn't interest me. These kind of things don't
Bruh,
really
it's like
strike my
at
nerve.
this point, 76 just came out, so it's like you just have to wait about a good 2 years or so. So when the fan community patches the shit, because Bethesda ain't gonna do a damn thing.
Yeah, but for me personally, I've always preferred Fallout over the Elder Scrolls, and I don't think the Elder Scrolls is bad. Like I have like almost. I know it's not even nothing compared to some people. Like some people have 1,000 hours, but I have like a decent 300 hours in Skyrim, and that was just playing it, you know, vanilla. Before I actually started, mods and everything.
Yeah,
And
I have to say it's the opposite shit for me because Fallout, mm, first person or third person RPG, yeah. I Some people like that. Me, I'm rather spoiled by action RPGs and well, not first person, but turn based.
yeah, I've only like I'm not gonna be the one to say I always liked RPGs. I was never really into RPGs younger. I only started getting into them as soon as I played games like SMT and Persona. I mean, I did play Pokemon, but that doesn't. I don't think that really counts for when it comes to
Although I do have to admit,
RPG.
Skyrim would have to be the only Elder Scrolls games that, what, yeah, I actually got into because I looked because they literally had one day to where Morrowind was for free, and I was like, huh, Morrowind. It's like that DLC I went to, and then I looked at the original Morrowind, and I was like, huh, okay, somewhat interesting, a little bit choppy like the PlayStation, but okay. And then someone said when you attack, the attack is randomly generated by a dice roll. I was like, no.
Yeah, no, no, trust me. The original Fallout's were a top overhead view like strategy game. That's true RPG. And I like those. And but like I'm more like I've been watching this guy named Oxhorn, and for any viewers that have listened to him, I recommend it. If you're new to his channel, I recommend it. He does basically he does a playthrough, and he just goes through the whatever he's going to talk about, whether the story or the side quests or companions, and he fleshes out what actually happens, and or certain buildings that have the lore in like computer terminals and something, and it's just all contextualized. He fleshes them out a little bit more. And it's just nice hearing his voice. Like he's kind of like what Pawn Stars is to my like older family members. I'm not just saying like they watch Pawn Stars. I'm just talking about like the shows on Discovery in history. I just like listening to this, lore that these developers have fleshed out. Because Bethesda, especially with the new Vegas, because Obsidian's coming out with their new game, The Outer World. And I kind of just like that. And every time I watch his videos, I just want to go back to playing Fallout. I just don't think like, and Elder Scrolls is fine, but I kind of had my fun with it, and I think I could probably, but I did reinstall it again because Skyrim does that to you. Because I want to try out. I've been looking at some mods, and I can,
Yeah, I
and I
just
got
came back in recently, and it was more fun to just to rebuild it. Now I know how to properly do mods. I
yeah.
don't know how you were able to deal with the Nexus Mod Manager.
Oh, I hate it. It's just not my. I get it, but before real quick, it's just I like going. Honestly, the reason why I really go back to going modding, going out of my way, is because I can't draw, but I like to create my character. Like I have game ideas and stories, and that's what I pretty much do is I create my characters, and I feel like if I ever have to do commissions, I'm gonna screenshot it and show them this is my character. I'm pretty sure some people do that. Or they even do it for their D&D sessions. Like what nerds do. But yeah, the Nexus mod thing, it's changed a lot since I first like when I first started playing it, and like when it was fresh, and there was only like a few mods and very few experimental ones.
But now there's mods everywhere, and luckily they have a better manager called Mod Organizer or Mod Organizer 2 to be up to date, to which you don't have to worry about putting shit in your data folder or anything like that. It's just pretty much simple. You fire it up, you tell it where the game is, you install your mods, and you're good to go.
Yeah, I've been trying
I
to make.
mean,
I
if
think
you
the only
need to sort your stuff out, you could do it. And then they got like a long YouTube videos that go in depth along with short YouTube videos so if you just want to get going.
okay. I might. All right, real quick question. Uh, CBBE or UNP?
UNP.
My man. Oh my gosh. Like when I,
I
I
don't
get
I don't like my characters looking like Barbie dolls.
okay. So real talk. Like we all like. Let's be like. I wish people would be more honest when they say mods, because like, I'm kind of beating around the bush, but let's be honest here. That's probably like one of the first things you install before you start installing all the other crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Um.
because vanilla mom models look like ass.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible. But the funny thing is that it was crazy seeing what people can like people going out of their way to make these like really really decent looking characters, and like not even like lewd or anything. They're just really good looking, and the UNB, I mean the injectors they're using like EMB, like all this stuff, and then
Yeah.
some people have really good OC
I mean, when you
characters.
find a good EMB with 2K or 4K textures, you can make this game look beautiful, man. Because I said you that I got mine looking like Final Fantasy 15. It's like my laptop is screaming, but I don't care. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, actually, I was surprised that my old laptop could run it. It said it could run it on ultra, but it ran it at ultra with 30 frames and some really frequent drops, especially with modded homes. And like there were certain homes that I installed that I could not use because my frame rate would just be chugging. But now I can
Yeah,
do
did
it.
you try optimizing your textures?
Yes, and I did like the thing is that it looked good when I played the game. I didn't mind the 30 frames. It was no different than playing it on a PS4. Um, but again, this was 2013. You know, this was like
Okay.
so it
That,
was. I didn't really mind the frame
I,
rate drops.
that's a little bit different because I'm running mine on a 1060, which would be equivalent of a 970, so it works perfectly
Oh yeah,
fine.
but
I mean,
ever
so long as I don't go balls to the walls, full 4K, uncompressed, and all that shit.
yeah. I with my new computer, I've oh my gosh, Skyrim in 60 frames, like sputtery smooth. Like I could probably run it at 120 frames if I had the right monitor. But oh my gosh, it's it. And the thing is that as far as like
I need to hook you up with Mod Organizer too, so you can have a smoother
yeah,
eye transition than
and I know
instead of dealing with the Nexus Mod Manager, which is a headache,
yeah,
even if you know what you're doing.
I don't care. The one mod I really installed the most was the Zelda music replacer, and like I tried it like anything like
Hook me
Master
up with it
Sword.
after the stream.
I think it's available on. It was I found it on Steam and it hasn't been taken down. Um, I don't know. I could probably you could probably Google it, but I think it's been
Wait,
taken.
is it original Zelda or is it Breath of the Wild? Because that's
Mm,
what I've been looking for.
oh
I
no,
wasn't
it's
looking
not
for like
Breath of
a
the
Breath of
Wild.
the Wild music mod where it's just simple.
It's mostly Link to the Past and Ocarina of
Eh,
Time and Majora's Mask soundtrack. But what it does, it's what it you think it does. It just takes the music and replaces it with the soundtrack. Like in the beginning, when you start the menu, it does the fairy fountain song, like similar to the Ocarina of Time menu. Uh, I like it, but the
Surprisingly, before I even did the beautiful graphic touches, I mostly did gameplay improvements like a better HUD, better animations, the mod that allows you to fly, which is very useful.
yeah, I
Cause sometimes I just don't feel like fast tracking, and sometimes I just feel like flying around. It's like, oh, there's a dungeon
yeah,
right there. Oh, there's a dragon shout.
but without actually cheating, like just turning on the console commands.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
It adds a way of exploring the
you
world
know
too.
the
So
one I started using was this. I think it was something towers, and basically it's a tower. It's a cheat tower. It has stuff you could spawn like resources. You can level up your character and give them stats even though they're not fully leveled up. And
yeah.
um, I did lightsabers, and but that's because
Have
I
you
don't.
beat the game yet,
Oh yeah, I
or
beat the game. I like.
okay? So you're gonna appreciate this. Someone made a mod that bypasses Blackreach.
Hmm.
I see. Some people will disagree with that because they'll say, "Oh, but Blackreach was a good part of the game."
If
Like,
they even
oh,
remember how many people are talking about
Blackreach was boring.
how many people are talking about Skyrim's story in current year of 2019. Look, I'm gonna be
It
real.
made me happy because I don't have to go down there anymore. I could just go there, get the scrolls, and then go back to killing dragons.
Yeah. Um, there was the hardest thing was finding really good armor mods, whether it be loot or not. Like I'm gonna be real. Like I didn't care. Some were lewd, but then there was some I really like. There was this Raven armor, but again, some of them didn't work with the UMP. Like, and that's another thing. Like certain like
Because you needed to patch them physics.
no, I didn't like that after a while. That got, but that was like I don't think it works for UMP because I like
I don't know. The physics where it worked for
No, no,
UMP
no.
is
I'm not talking.
just
No, no. I'm pretty sure technical on a technical scale it works, but for me aesthetically, no.
well,
Cause
that
like
depends on what you doing. Are you making it stupid like Dead or Alive
no,
Live, where
no, no, no,
everything's
no, no, no,
bouncing
no,
all
no,
over the
no. No, the
place?
cat like, no. I like the UMP. I like the one where it kind of gives the your character abs. Uh, that's the one I like. So I'm not. I kind of toned down the like craziness of the chest area and stuff like that. But but armor wise, there's some really good ones out there. I when I first downloaded the ones I downloaded was the Terror armor, like from they just ripped the models from the game. But
Yeah.
it's like it was all right. I also had this NPC editor where you could edit the faces of specific characters, like if you want to change them and change their hair because the vanilla version doesn't look that great.
Oh no, it does not.
Yeah, cause
But you have to find. Eh,
but I
had
think
to
if
combine
you
a
have a
lot of
good
hair
texture, if you have
mods just to
a
find that right one.
but the hardest one was finding a good face, texture to make them look, you know, how you want.
But,
Cause you
but did
got
you use pretty faces or were you manually generating your face?
actually hold on, I'm going to uh
Hey,
okay,
cause I did, cause what I did was I had like
yeah.
pretty faces, so I wouldn't have to look through the vanilla shit. And then whenever it came to my character, pretty faces look good, but I like my character looking a certain way, so I had to
Oh, I think I
face
downloaded
gen.
through Nexus Mod Manager, so I don't know what the faces I used were on the. But yeah, I try to make them look like I wanted to make my character look a little bit what's the word?
Well, that depends. Are you going for a dank Skyrim or are you going for a colorful Skyrim?
I try to make it colorful with the EMB injectors, but I did not like. I could not figure it out how to make it look like how some people like make it look.
I can help you out with that one.
Yeah, probably.
Because apparently they have a application for that now, to where you don't have to worry about it. It's just like Mod Organizer. You just point it to where it is, and then you set up the file. Once when you set up the file, you just fire it up, and then the game loads it. And
Yeah,
then when you're done, tick it off, and it ticks it off.
yeah. Anyway, but um, yes. The only thing I didn't really like was trying to like, retrieve my old account because again I started that account in 2013 and for Nexus, and when I tried to log back in, it really like that site really bombards you like, hey, please support these modders, hey,
Give us money. But
yeah,
see, that's another thing. It's a thing I love and hate about Skyrim. It's just when you uninstall it, good lord, when you had to reset it back up, you had to so much
it
updates.
is a
Because I had,
slog.
even though I had a backup of my previous mods, Mod Organizer told me that I need to update a lot of my stuff. I was like, well, I'll update my stuff that way it'd be less buggy, and it was less buggy. It's just some of the stuff you can't really find anymore because this is the next topic we get into
Yeah.
modders or the modding Skyrim community, where they're subset sects of the community. There's one to where they don't care. Someone just wants to get the mod in the game. If they want to get a pistol into the game, they'll figure out how to get a pistol
Oh
into the
yeah, I
game.
remember the gun mod.
It don't matter if it looks silly as long as it's in the game, and they don't even ask for nothing. It's just like,
Yeah.
all right,
Oh,
it's up.
wait, wait,
Put
hold
it
on.
in your thing. You're good to go.
Time out. Have you heard of a guy named MXR?
Yeah, I'll look at him from time to time.
Yeah, I think he was the kind of the guy that I used to watch because I don't think some people like his content. He's kind of a little like out there, but I mean, aren't we all? Because I mean, he's talking about Skyrim mods. I'm really surprised he's
It
still
was
going.
more whenever I looked at him, I just had him up for like noise and whatnot. Whenever I was just trying to rebuild my stuff, it was like, oh, I recommend this stuff. It's like I might look at
Yeah,
it,
I kind of
and
like
then
it.
just rebuilding it, and I was like, all right, he knows.
Yeah,
He got some good E&B recommendations, so I looked into it. I was like,
I
eh.
still subscribe to him, and he's gotten. I guess it's because he knows YouTube's not, so I think he has a Patreon. But like a lot of his videos, I can't even watch because yeah, you
I can
know,
care less about the lewd mods because there are better
he's
hentai games that can do a lot more than Skyrim can do.
honey
Well,
select.
no, I take that back because if you did dig deeper into what Skyrim can do, you'll find some nightmare fuel.
I know. Anyway, but yeah, he also brought. It's funny because rewatched some of his New Vegas. He did a couple of mods, but I think he stopped because I don't think it was gaining his interest as much as Skyrim. But he did do one mod, and I tried looking for it, and I think it was taken down.
What reason was it? Because
You
of
got me. I don't know. All I know is that I tried looking for it on the Nexus community, and I even tried to click the link, and the link was broken. So yeah, it could have just been a lot of reasons, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna
if
segue into what you're
finding
bringing.
old mods is the usual problem, either A, they upload it to the Creation Club and they expect you to pay money for it.
Yeah,
B, they they've taken it down because they had a spat between the community. Or C, whatever they're working on is bugged to hell that they'll just say, go use this instead. It's better.
yeah. Actually, I remember a Fallout 4 mod that was taken down because it had a. It was because it takes place in Boston. The baseball stuff, he modded it to make it look like the actual Boston Red Sox team, and I think he got in trouble because the MLB don't mess around.
Was he trying to make money off of it?
I'm not sure about money, but I think it's because if he made it late into the where irrelevant, where Fallout 4 was kind of like died down, he probably would have gotten away with it. But this was when Fallout 4 was still fresh, so like the
I
Legend
think
of
he still
Zelda.
would have got away with it so long as he didn't try to make a profit off of it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the MLB, when are they ever actually looking at mods? I think they only found it out because it was popular.
Yeah.
Because the Legend of Zelda music one, that one was uploaded to Steam on the Steam workshop, and I thought that one was gonna get taken down because of music stuff. It's still up there. I still have it installed. Um, I'm really like, but that's a
Hey, you
different.
gotta be careful with Steam though, because Steam kind of janks up the mods if you're not careful.
Yeah, no, no, no. I know, but anyway, let's move on.
But going back, it's like I prefer the reason of not getting the mod because of Steve, where they just say get a better mod. But most of the stuff that I be getting, either it's on the Creation Club or it's for the special edition, which they try to get a lot of people to switch over to. Which
I
I'd
still
be
have vanilla
I'd be
Skyrim.
down for going to special edition, but special edition doesn't have that much compatibility with older mods,
Yeah,
or the people would have to make a whole new mod instead, which is
yeah.
like,
You're better off just. And the problem is that I don't have the Dragonborn DLC, and they are not going to bring that price down. It is still 19.99.
I guess I was lucky when I got the whole entire bundle for like $20 before the special edition came out.
Yep, because the special edition's out. There's no need to actually make us put the other ones on sale.
But it's still better to use old rim because old rim is more performance friendly compared to special edition, to
which
where
is
yeah, special edition doesn't crash, but it uses more resources. So it's like,
I have actually the only time it's Skyrim's ever actually crashed for me, ironically, was because I had a mod installed wrong.
it had to be mostly because I was playing around hard with the EMBs, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But going back to the whole modding thing, what I noticed is going back to the two types of people. The other type of person is they wholeheartedly believe that because they work so hard on a mod, no one can get this mod unless they pay them directly. It's
Mm,
behind some type of paywall to where only you can get it that way.
yeah. I'm kind of like in the middle between that because at the same time, like if the mod's really good, I can understand paying for it. But I'm kind of those people that
But do you really want to pay $10 for a different arrowhead though?
no. Obviously, if it's something as simple as that, no. I think everybody remembers the horse armor incident.
Yeah,
Um, but for
never
me,
forget.
it would have to be something that almost adds a whole new layer to the game, because uh, there's like
If you
there's
were able to add like a Morrowind land mask with no bugs whatsoever, new voice acting, new everything, essentially it's a whole new campaign that goes on for 120 hours, then yeah, you deserve to be paid because all that effort you put into it.
yeah.
But if it's just something simple like, oh look, I put armor and angel wings on the back of this armor piece. Support me on Patreon. Give me money. And I'm like, no.
There's a lot, like the problem is that even if you see the thing is that when you expect money, you it's what happens is that especially in specific communities, there's gonna be people that find their way around it. So
Yeah,
you should
yeah, because
just
I know
like
I did.
that's
Because whenever someone says, say, you have to pay for it to the paywall, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go to a random website, some either Korean website or a Japanese website. They have a link on what I'm looking for. Bam, get it that way. Bypass the whole entire thing.
yeah. Um, I think the where I stand is that I've seen some really decent mods that like they add like this companion that follows you and it's a whole new area and there's voice acting in the stuff and it's like to me it'd be like wow, I would probably give that person money. But for me, I didn't install it, so like I did like there are mods that I'm like, oh, that's really impressive of the man hours you put into it, but it's not what I want. So
It was interesting coming across the spats between the fads because I heard a certain mod author, the community didn't like him because of it's a weird thing about mod authors being arrogant towards one another, saying, "Oh, my mod looks better. Well, I use this program to make it more better. It runs without bugs, and it doesn't slow down your game." It's like if it works, it works. Like instead of trying to put down people, why not help them so y'all can make better mods as a community instead of just saying my mods are the best.
and
Give
another,
me money.
yeah, and another thing is that mods shouldn't be like I don't know, like I guess somebody found a way to monopolize them. I don't know where it started. And I'm not saying like I understand the amount of man hours you put into making this mod work to make it function and the amount of like how much replay value it has. I understand all that factors that come into it, but it's like Bandcamp. I like Bandcamp because it's like
You're not
There's
gonna convince me to give you $7 to make my character double jump.
yeah, and what I was saying is like Bandcamp, you can buy the album or listen to it on the app. It kind of like says, "Hey, you should probably buy this," but you could still choose the option not to, and you can still listen to the album for free. You can even download it, but the thing is that you can, and it's even the pay what you want. Honestly, if it worked like that, if the mods were like under pay what you want, I'd be more like, you know what, I got $1, in my PayPal account, like, because people have, things to, they understand, people got to make money. I'm trying to make money too.
But if you got so much passion to modify a game, code, and do all this other stuff, why not just make your own game?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make my own game because, like, it's cool to like, it's cool and impressive how much effort you put into a game. But man, it's just like I really think you could have used that time to do something else. And I'm not trying to put down modders because there's a lot of the people that have spawned from modding. Like the Taxman with Sonic Mania and all that stuff. It's mostly,
Yeah.
but let's be real here. Like, there's not a lot you can do with Skyrim that anybody else could do with console commands or a cheat room.
Yeah, but it's not just Skyrim. They be doing that shit for Street Fighter 5 as well, to where they put their mods behind a paywall or some stuff. I'm like, no.
Now that's it. Yeah, that's kind of insulting considering there's a
It's like
lot
I
of
don't want to pay for DLC skins. What makes you think I want to pay you for a mod?
yeah, that's kind of redundant. It's just like you're not helping. There's some, but it is what it is. Like I think it's because you can customize a character that people will like that ability to mod stuff. Because when you pick a certain character, when you're a specific character in a story or a game, not really much fun modding it. It's fun modding a game that has almost no limit to what you can do with it. Now people are modding Resident Evil 2 and Devil May Cry 5 because it's easily moddable, but I think people love modding something that doesn't really have a lot of restriction to the overall thing of it because you're a blank slate in that game. There's even a mod where you can skip the intro and make your own adventure thing. You can choose your own.
Yeah, you have to because who Lord the for Helgen is so bugged to hell and back. Especially with newer mods. It's like if you don't start with an alternative start, then you're gonna have to deal with the buggy scene and hope that it doesn't mess up any of the mods that you installed.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Like, I speaking of just going, what's the dumbest mod you've installed? Like, impractical or just one of like like those videos where you see like Macho Man Randy Savage Dragon or Thomas the Tank Engine Dragon.
Two, two of them. One called the no crime gold thing, to where if Skyrim players, you know what I'm talking about, to where you accidentally hit a person that you weren't trying to hit, and then you're swarmed by guards.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Like what it does is it stops it from happening, or if you do too much stuff, a guard will just come up to you and it's like, you know, I could jump on you, but if you just pay me a little bit, I'll be on my way. I was like, fine. That's two septums to get out my ass. Or be the simple, it's a simple mod to where it's called shut the fuck up. To where how many times has it been to where you walking around and then someone just comments on your characters like, hey traveler, oh, I get you need to go to the Dawn Guard. You need to go to the Dawn Guard. You need to go to Morrowind or all that other shit that you don't really care about. You just want to go around.
Yeah, there's a mod on the Steam. I think it's still up. It's that one guy in Whiterun where he's like, "Do you get to the Cloud District very often?" Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't. It's a mod that literally just shuts him up. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the oh man, it I
but
had
that's just the one that I have. It just goes towards pretty much if you don't directly talk to them by pressing A, then you're not gonna hear anything. They're just gonna walk past you, and that's it. No, no, that banter. No, that weird thing where they just walk by you and they try to sign to you that you smell like ash and shit.
yeah
It's just they walk past you, you walk past them, and you go on with your business.
yeah. I'm trying to think. There was I'm trying to think of the dumbest mod. Do you remember a YouTuber named Tobuscus?
Rings a bell.
All right, that's pretty much as good as it's gonna get. Anyway, I downloaded a mod, and this was right when I was fresh out of like it's still in high school, so sort of, because that was like around my graduation year. It was a your weapons. They were specific weapons too. They weren't just like all your weapons. It was just specific weapons. Whenever you attack with these weapons, they would make a quip or something that that YouTuber has of that Tobuscus cat guy has said. So when you fire an arrow, it says he says something. I think that one's my most shameful mod that I've ever downloaded.
Yeah.
Um, but like I wouldn't pay for a mod. Like I see the mods up on the even on the Creation Club when I play Fallout 4, and I'm like, oh, it's tempting, but no, like
It saddens me that you can't get it working on the Switch.
yeah, I'm surprised that I
I
haven't
mean,
even.
if you had SKSE on Switch, that'd be it. I would just I would just switch to special edition right there, and then I would just like get my Switch, put SKSE, and then never look back. Cause then I would never have to really worry about it too much anymore.
Yeah, like if I had more time, I'd sit down and play it. But like I said, I'm more of a Fallout guy. I love the aesthetic
I
of
mostly
Fallout.
I just have fun in Skyrim, where it's not so much about doing the main plot of the story. That's on the side. Me, I'm just wandering about the countryside. Just
No,
it's
no,
like,
no.
oh, there's a tiger. Oh, there's a bear.
Yeah, no, no. For me, that's what I usually do. I rarely. I mean, I just recently beat the main story of the of Fallout 4, and it was alright. I think, but what I like exploring. I like finding weapons. I like, eh, but since I'm playing on the PS4 version, I need to get the PC version. Uh,
Yeah, so I can get rid of all the bugs.
well, oh yeah, oh my gosh, the bugs I ran into, man, they're quest breaking bugs. But
But that's a little fun fact. Because I remember a long time ago, I used to think Skyrim was overrated, but then what I didn't realize back then was they were referring to the PC version. Because I saw the console version of Skyrim, I was like, "What? This is what people are talking about?" And then I saw that one random YouTube video with Skyrim on EMP. I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's on the PlayStation 3?" It's like, "No, that's a PC version." And I'm like, "Oh,
oh yeah,
that's what they were
okay,
talking
so
about."
Fallout 4 recently added mod support on the PS4, and I hate it. It's just like some of the people upload screenshots, and it's just like this is from a PC version, by the way. The screenshots from the PC version. It's like, ooh, that is low.
No,
And it's just like I tried modding PS4 Skyrim. It's boring. The only thing you can really do is cheats, and some of
you
them There's a one that's supposed to unofficial Fallout patch that fixed all the bugs that wasn't fixed in the original game, but you need all the DLC for it to work.
Yep.
And I don't really like that.
Council will never be able to pull off an ENB because if they were able to do an ENB, that'd be it.
If you were able to mod consoles with no restrictions, I mean, but then again, it's just like it'd just be a PC at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's what the PlayStation 3 was until they took away Linux, and then they said, "Oh, we're trying to do it for safety reasons."
Sure.
And then people was like, "You know what? I wasn't about to hack the PlayStation 3, but I want my Linux back, so screw it. I'm going to hack it by not update it." It's unhackable. 3 years later, it's been hacked.
Yeah. I think I guess we kind of burnt out on that topic.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a more positive one. Well, at least a minor one, because uh, specifically in anime, Ray Zero just got announced for the second season. It's in production.
I
Uh,
would say it's a brighter though, because that trailer, oh,
yeah, no, I mean the fact that we're getting another season. So
that makes, of course, that makes me happy. It's just that that emotional roller coaster. I don't know if I could take another one.
yeah, I actually, you know, what's funny. I was that person that thought I watched Ray Zero out of curiosity. Like curiosity got the better of me. At first, I didn't watch it because I was like, "Who is this blue-haired character? Why am I seeing her everywhere?" And it's just like,
I came on accident though. Like I was just like, cause I seen the picture of it. I was like, man, all right, throw that up. It looks somewhat interesting. Let's see what happens. And then I got hooked. I was like, okay, see what happens next. And then when you start seeing more and more of the show, it's like, oh, the feels.
and it's funny because after I started watching it, I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, yeah, I for some reason I thought Ray Zero was somehow connected to Fate Stay Night. I don't know. Like I was not. I do not do my homework on anything, and I really, if I get into an anime, it's out of sheer curiosity. But that one was
Yeah,
because I thought, you know, I thought it was super. I think it was. I want to say it was fairly popular. I don't think it was like Sword Art Online popular, but it. I think it was. I think it was one of those ones where people liked it, but then it was considered flavor of the month. So, and flavor, if it's flavor of the month, it's automatically bad after a while because nobody cares about it anymore. Um, I don't know, but that's. But anyway, I started watching it and I was like, because like I've never really like I've only seen a few isekais, and the reason why I liked it wasn't because of the fact it was an isekai. It was a live die repeat story, and I
Groundhog Day.
yeah, Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow. With Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise is actually really good for a live die repeat movie. I like I kind of like if it was an like if it was animated, like it was based on a light novel, so technically it could have been an anime. Um,
Oh no, it was an anime. It was called Steins Gate.
but Steins Gate's more, but no, but but there's no mechs in it and aliens.
Oh, en contraire.
No, sorry, I didn't mean no. What I mean is like he's not fighting the aliens in a mech suit, or did I watch it wrong?
No, no, I was just
No,
joking.
no, 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 no. But what I mean is like that one's more of the action kind of thing. Ray is more of the fantasy setting, but it was kind of cool. It's like Subaru's like kind of like the character like where he thinks he
He's down to earth.
like
It's like, oh, I'm in an anime world. I'm gonna roll with the
yeah
world
yeah
beats.
no it's funny because he really goes like, oh hey, maybe I can. It's just like, and it's like sometimes it sees where he like he beats up some people, and it's just like, you gotta understand, he has nothing else better to do. He probably, like, when he beats, sometimes in the beginning he did fight with those guys. He didn't win, but he didn't lose. There were sometimes where he got the better hand and sometimes where he lost. In fact, he even got killed by one of them in one of the his live die repeat moments.
He essentially had no choice because it's like how get back home is either you're gonna try to figure out how to get back home or live with well whatever you got going on.
And yeah, that's actually what I was curious about. That it was, I don't think he was ever actually trying to. I don't know if he's I don't know if he's ever trying to go back, because there's a lot of the ones where they never really think about going back, or they died and they reincarnated. This one kind of like,
Or they simply just can't go back.
yeah, that's probably where he, but I don't think he would if he. I bet you what's gonna happen is he's going to go back when he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna tear everyone's heart out.
Oh no, it ain't gonna tear my heart out, but it's gonna tear his heart out.
uh, and but I actually really liked it. I had a fun with it. It was kind of cool because, a lot of people complain about isekais now, how the characters overpowered, and I'm like, somebody's watching a little bit too much of Overlord, because
Apparently, I don't know if you heard the term anime and shonen. That's just what it is. Unless you're watching a slice of life show, you
honest,
gonna see some dude in a mech or some dude with some weird powers curb stomping something by the end of the season.
and it's like, what he goes through, you almost like, because he goes through it so much and how it happens, you really
I
do.
mean, it's not like he's a Gary Stew like certain other people we know.
Yeah, and it's like he's trying his, like, even when he gets as far as he can, he still dies. That's what's crazy. And it's just like, it's no different from people playing a game and then losing and get game over. So in a way, if you see it like that, he's a really decent, well written character. Some people may not like him, but I mean, he's more fleshed out than most characters. He, like, even that, there's that point where he just yells at,
Yeah,
like, he yells
because
at
he's actually living out Dark Souls.
yeah, he yells at Amelia, saying like that you actually owe me or something. Like, he's being petty. Like, you see him being petty. You see him being like, you know, he trying to be all heroic when she doesn't need him to be, and it's unnecessary. And he only ends up making it worse, the situation worse for everyone, even even for him. Including him. He doesn't realize what he's doing wrong. But and there's even points where people are like, "Yeah, you're not doing this for you." Like, when he's trying to train to get stronger, he's like, "I need to get stronger." He's like, "No, there's nothing more to teach you," because it's like, like, he's not teaching you, Subaru, because you're not doing it to protect. You're like, what are you really doing this for?
You're just doing it to flex.
Yeah, and that's what's really cool, is that he like people see through what his like sort of facade, and once he has that conversation with Ram, it's like that's the turning point. And man, just like, it's like, of course he's like, I don't know. It's no different from the people that complain about movies when why is this main character? He would have been shot to, you know, he would have been full of bullets if he did like
You
that. It's like,
know,
it's a movie. It's like, wait, what would you watch a? Would you really enjoy a movie if realism kicked in and he just got shot and he died? And they'd be like,
someone would.
yeah, no, no. But the thing is that when you ask it like that, when you ask him in the current, when you call him out on it, of course they're gonna say, yeah, I would, because they don't want to be wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong. You know how many movies I've enjoyed that.
Speaking of being wrong, you know the shippers are gonna have a field day with season two.
Yeah, we don't have to go into that. That's a can of worms I don't even open up, and I'm
But you
here.
know we
I'm
gotta hit it though.
yeah. It's well, we'll see. But that's another thing I want to bring up with isekais. I watched Giguk's video on about isekais and specifically Shield Hero, which we're gonna talk to about in a minute. But I like that comparison where Overlord is easy mode, Sword Art is medium, um, Ray Zero is expert, and Shield Hero is hard. That's like, oh my gosh, you genius. And it's just like that's what people don't understand. Like we watch Overlord because you want to see somebody just curb stomp everybody. Like if you complain about the main character being OP in that one, you're watching the wrong series. And it's just like
Yeah.
people complain about Subaru, and I think it's because he's stealing their waifu. I think that's what it all boils down to. Like the main character is getting too
No, I
cozy with
wouldn't
my
say
favorite character.
stealing. I would say he made the wrong choice.
Yeah, but he learns from his
Or at least that's
mistakes.
what a lot of the shippers say. But then again, the worms are creeping up.
But like it wasn't. It was. Why would it be the right, like, wrong or choice? Like the story has been focusing around him and Amelia from the beginning. That's a
You
given.
think, but people still want him to go out with Rim.
And there's plenty of
And they still
doji.
hold
There's
it to
plenty of
this day.
dojins, and there's plenty of fan art of that. And
I mean, they can't accept that the fact that we have an alternate timeline to where it actually happened and just call it a day.
the what? Why? What does it matter which character he picks? They're not real.
Oh, no, no, no. See, you're underestimating that the argument that is best girl.
I know. All right. Okay. So
You're questioning it.
I'm pushing it, but yeah, I know. I know. All I'm saying is that I think isekais have gotten this weird stigma, and it's funny because I think it's a genre that's really popular right now, and I think some people would go as far as to saying that it's oversaturating the market, but it only be oversaturating it if you haven't been watching anything else. I
But
like
there's a bunch of other genres that you can look at. It's just when they have a good isekai, it's a good isekai.
yeah.
I because I wasn't expecting to enjoy that one time I got reincarnated as a slime. It's
I
like that came out of nowhere for me. Shield Hero came out of nowhere. Well, I'd say Shield Hero kind of came out of nowhere for me because it's like one of my friends kept talking about it religiously until Shield Hero's getting an anime. Shield Hero's getting an anime. It's like, okay, I'll watch it and then holy crap, this is good.
you know which one is actually a guilty pleasure of mine is How to Not Summon a Demon Lord. No, actually, I need to get back to it.
Yes.
I just recently got into it in 2018, and so far I actually like I when I'm watching it I actually have a smile on my face. Like it's a generally
It's like
entertaining.
what would motivate me to get serious in this game? Oh, two couples are having fun. Time to kill him. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this man knows.
No, but like I kind of like. I think so like Overlord was one I was like I really liked season 1, and so far I'm kind of losing traction on it. And I don't know what is with me, but when I watched How to Not Summon a Demon Lord, it's pretty much the same premise. The guy gets trapped in the game world, but they're
Maybe
like
because they put effort into
no,
it.
no, no, but here's the thing. Like Overlord is pretty much watching an OP character. So if you have a problem with him being too OP, well, it's just like you're watching the wrong series, like I said. And I feel like that's what like. I'm not seeing where like everything's just built up at this point. That's the only problem I'm having with it. Overlord has all these overarching like plans that are gonna happen, but they're not happening yet, and it's already in season 3. It's Overlord 3. I want to see stuff like that were put in on season one take place now, and I don't like that. I don't like that build up. That means that means that they are slowly placing out this anime on purpose, and I don't like that. There's two like
The thing about Overlord that just I don't know if it's a cut up. It's not the fact that it's a villain. It's just the fact that from what I'm looking at a bag of bones throughout the whole entire series. Like that just throws me off a little bit.
well, no. What the thing is that season one you see him doing all the stuff, but then you got season two and three where he's kind of like playing,
He's in the
yeah,
background doing whatever.
and it's not as fun. I mean, it was kind of cool when Sebas killed like all those like the deadly seven or whatever, and he just insta killed them. And but the thing is that everything for me everything's going too slow. And where in How to Not Summon a Demon Lord, everything's at a really nice pace. Like things are going along fine, and I actually like that he's even though he was OP when he was in the real world, there's some stuff that are actually in game that people are using that he has to figure out. Like when he had to fight that like crazy monster, and he had to find like it was like its healing rate was incredible. He had to find the weakness. Like he actually struggled a bit, and there were certain things he struggled. He actually struggles. So in a way, it's not easy mode. It's more in the medium mode when it comes to like difficulty in the isekai world.
Mm,
But like I said, it's more of like a I like the humor in it. It's really dumb, like, and it's shameless, and I think it knows it is. Like, let's be real here, like all the stuff with it. But again,
yeah, but
it
it's I don't know. It's like what you said, the pace. I mean, because
pacing.
it's not like that. Have you seen that other isekai where it's about this dude who gets OP with the cell phone or some shit like that?
No, but I've heard of it, and I think again, if you find
It's not that.
smartphone, it have
Yeah,
smartphone in the title.
yeah.
Like, I travel to the other
I
world with my
mean,
smartphone.
yeah, it's not that, and it's not Konosuba. Uh, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flag, but I really can't get into Konosuba.
That's fine. I enjoyed it, but
It's like I tried, but I was like, yeah. It's like I get the jokes, but at the same time, it's just not really. I think what killed it for me was how people kept memeing the fuck out of that whole explosion thing.
yeah, I can understand that. For me, like I think it's because people were really excited because oh, it's a isekai that subvert. Like it's not like the other isekais. I'm on Tumblr and I don't
You can
understand.
subvert isekai and do it right, even if you're making fun of the tropes. But when I see Konosuba make fun of the tropes, it's not. It doesn't seem as though it'll make me like laugh and whatnot. It's just, haha. I seen the joke coming a mile away. So
Yeah, because in the first episode, it's kind of like like people kind of spoiled what Konosuba is. Like in the beginning,
yeah,
he's like, "Did I save that girl?" And it's just like, "Oh, the joke is that he didn't really need to do anything. He died for nothing. In fact, everybody laughed at him and like." And I, but like as an, I don't really watch it as an isekai. I mostly watch it as a, just as a party.
might as well just be a sitcom, like a sitcom in another world.
Like honestly, it didn't even need to be an isekai. I like nothing really happens that he brings up certain stuff from the real world, but it doesn't really bring up the whole overarching plot. Like he pretty much just blends into it pretty well.
Let's just go lollygag on the countryside. Let's go do stupid stuff.
If the first episode, yeah,
10 out of 10.
if you take out the first episode, if you take out the whole isekai premise, it's just a generic party members in a RPG series trying that are failing at it. But I don't hate it. Um, I enjoyed watching it, but it's not one of those I'd go back to. It's a solid 7 for me. Uh, season 2 never, cause whatever. It's been announced, but that see when they said that was announced, it was I think the season 2 was just confirmed. I don't think it was an actual like in production, but we'll see. Who knows? But I think you wanted to bring up some topics about the Shield Hero specifically.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm going back into my mode, folks.
Yeah,
Those who listen to the previous episodes know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
It's about that time again. So, my fellow anime watchers, whether you are here for the comedy or you are here for breast, is like, how many times have you had this moment to where you watch a show, you're not watching it because someone told you to, you're not watching it because a lot of people are talking about it, you just see a picture of something, it's like, all right, you watch it, and then after you get through with the episode, all of a sudden everyone's talking about politics, or they're blowing something out of proportion.
yeah. I think
Like, I'm sure you got an example.
yeah. The example I wanted to bring up was the whole Goblin Slayer fiasco. It's funny because I got into Goblin Slayer before it was an anime. It was through the manga, and I follow a couple people on Tumblr and Twitter. And I had a Tumblr mostly to reblog art, but then the whole purge, whatever. I'm not gonna go into that. Anyway, there's a person I follow. She's a really decent artist. She mostly talks about it. She mostly reblogs Attack on Titan stuff, but she reblogged some stuff about Goblin Slayer, and then there's some people. Then other people started reblogging about other people I follow started talking about Goblin Slayer, and I was generally curious. Like I saw some not I guess screenshots technically, but of the manga, and the art style is really good. I'll get like say what you want about the series. I really like the
It's
manga's art
dark as fuck
style.
though.
Yeah, no, it's a very dark, gritty manga. It does the whole like instead of not it's not an isekai, it's a it's like one of those ones where the RPG elements of games
I
apply.
mean, would I be going too far if I say this is somewhat of a successor to Berserk? Would that be too far?
Uh, yeah, it's because I think Berserk's a lot tackles a lot more dark and adult related stuff that's very like
I'm just
it's
saying in like in a modern day sense.
no, because okay, so like what happens is that this little girl, this mage, this healer, she goes into a guild trying to find a party to do a quest, and she joins these people who needed a healer, but they wanted to tackle a a decent quest. It's like they're like level ones. Imagine level ones trying to tackle like a level 10 quest, something that's
You
and like
you not.
the thing is that it was about slaying
RPG
goblins.
players, no,
Yeah,
you not.
yeah.
Unless you got someone that's like level 6 or level 7, you ain't doing anything.
So what happens is that yes, I'm going to give a quick synopsis of Goblin Slayer. So what happens is that this character they go on a quest and they slay goblins. Now everybody knows in RPGs and stuff like the series even makes it out like goblins are just like these weak characters. And the thing about the show is and the manga is that
Yes, they are weak characters, but you have to be cognizant of a horde
But yeah, no, but
because a horde
no,
can mess you over, just like something in Left 4 Dead.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
oh, a couple zombies, okay, but then when that horde comes up, you either gonna keep fighting them or you gonna run.
yeah. But so that's the thing. So they go in and they like the guy, the swords guy, he has a really decent big sword, and they go into this really dark cave. And the thing is that the goblins in the series are actually getting more tenacious. They're outsmarting simple like things. Like the stuff that goes on in Goblin Slayer is crazy. Like the way that goblins outsmart like really high ranking not necessarily high ranked, but like very decent ranked players. Like I say players because like think of it, it's pretty much just Goblin Slayer works as an MMO. Like people take quests, they go with parties and stuff like that. And the thing is that people that are high ranking don't bother with goblin slaying. It's beneath them. But the thing is that like villages don't have like people that are doing party like so goblins have been attacking villages and low party things, so they're just becoming an overall rising problem. And so they go into the thing and it just goes bad. The guy gets slaughtered. The
I wonder how.
the mage gets stabbed with a poison knife. So even though she healed her, she was still being poisoned. The kung fu there was
You
a
don't got no his son or so bye.
the monk tried to like do their best to help, but the problem was that there's different classes of goblins. There's like big ones. There's a king goblin. So it goes bad. Like I mean, really bad. I mean, like one of the characters gets raped. Like I'm like I don't mean to like make people uncomfortable. Like
And in the literal sense,
no, but
not
I mean
not being
like
sarcastic.
no, yeah. I'm not talking like literally the act of that.
Penetration.
Okay, so beyond that, okay, so the last person standing is the maid, the little healer, and she's scared because she's about to be killed by goblins. In steps this the most. I don't care what anybody says about this series. Goblin Slayer's design is really good, and when he walks in, it's funny because he's pretty much wearing what you would wear in the beginning of an MMO, like
I
the
mean,
temple.
he came out nowhere looking like someone from Dante's Inferno.
No, he's Doom Slayer. That's the thing I like about it. Have you? There's that video where he comes in, but it's to the Doom like to the Doom soundtrack.
Yeah.
So pretty much, he has like he's just killing the goblins like nothing, and it's awesome because he's destroying something so vicious and it's funny because that's what people are like me going into like before Goblin Slayer. Oh, goblins are pretty cool looking creatures. After watching Goblin Slayer, never mind, kill all goblins. It's just like
No, to me, it just reminded me of noob mistakes. If you know that you're a level one and you only have one chance to do something, you're not going to go on a raid that's level
but
10,
the thing is that Goblin
even
Slayer,
if it's
yeah.
not high of a threat. I mean, it's common sense.
So the series is mostly about like he understands his weaknesses, he understands his strengths. Um he knows what to do, like he covers it, like he's strategic. He knows that like cover yourself in goblin guts so that they have a really good sense of smell, so it keeps them out of your out of their nose so they won't track you. He starts to teach this little girl, the little mage girl, healer, about what it means to like be prepared. That's pretty much what it is. It's like, hey, you shouldn't go into these places. You need to be prepared. And it's just like he has reasons why he specifically hates goblins.
Because his whole village got maimed, ransacked, and you get where I'm going.
No, I'm pretty sure people know the story of it. But the thing is that,
No, that's just me summarizing without going
but
into
the thing
the
is that,
graphics detail and how brutal. Oof.
and I know it seems like I'm getting off topic. This was just supposed to be an example, but what I'm trying, like, I'm gonna segue into what you were gonna bring up. The thing is that like Berserk, this is the only thing you can compare it to Berserk is that it tackles a really dark topic, and it's just like, I don't think you should read like. I know that there could have probably be a better way of letting you know, hey, there's gonna be a lot of graphic content in this series, but like Berserk kind of, like nobody expected that the the Band of the Hawk, like that sacrifice, to be that crazy. Like when it first came
What
out.
are you?
When you're reading the first, when you're watching or reading the first early chapters of Berserk, it's like it's dark, but it's not like sadistic. Like it gets once that part, it gets real. Like that's the most sadistic. It ruined a lot of people. You know, it really depressed people, and but that's the thing about media. Like it's there. Like there are a lot of series that I don't watch because it'll make me feel uncomfortable, but I'll watch Berserk. I read Berserk and watch Goblin Slayer or read Goblin Slayer because I know what I'm getting into at that point. I've actually it's actually helped me stomach. I used to not like horror movies. Now I kind of watch them just cause. I'm not saying I'm desensitized. There's still moments where I feel uncomfortable, but that just means I still have humanity with me. But I understand
Eh,
that this is also.
I say I'm more desensitized unless I can hear bone crunches. That's about it.
Yeah, and
But other than that, keeping in mind, I've finished Gantz and watched a couple other crazy stuff.
yeah, but let's get back into the topic. But all I wanted to say was is that I understand that at the end of the day, these things are fiction. None of these characters are real, so I don't think anybody should. And that was the problem. That was is that that first chapter really sets the tone of this series, and it throws people out. But I think that's a good thing. You wouldn't want it to just happen like late into the book when it was like a lighthearted series throughout the most of it, and then just like that'd be kind of cool because that would be like a twist. But
Oh no, no, I wouldn't. I
but what
would
I'm
not
saying,
be that. That make me bad.
yeah, but what I'm
But I'm
saying,
not gonna name a series.
yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's a good way. The fact that it happens in the first episode and chapter lets you know what you're getting into, so you can put it down. But there are people that are like, please don't read it, and it's just like, don't do that. There's one thing of saying I can't read this, I'm not gonna read it, but don't tell people, hey, don't read this because this has this in it, and that's bad. It's like, yeah, it's like
But Ed, it promotes rape
it
culture.
doesn't promote it. It's no different from reading a history book in school. It's like we read history to learn from it. We read about the Civil War, and to learn about the stuff that our country had to go through. But
Nah, but speaking of promoting culture, going back to the Shield Hero,
yeah, we're getting way off
appar-
topic. Uh,
apparently there is so much disdain and hate towards the show, but the disdain for the show, it's not making awfully a lot of sense to me. Because if I sit down and ask a person why do they hate it, they tell me the reason. The reason sounds irrational and illogical. So, perfect example, like I'd be like, okay, why do you hate the show? Going back to what I just said about the rape culture, it's like it promotes rape culture. It's like, okay, how so? And I don't get an answer, or I get some stupid answer saying that oh, well, the character they talking about false rape allegations. That's not funny. They're just like,
yeah,
okay,
it's not fun, which is why it's showing you what he has to go through.
yeah.
Like,
And last time I checked, the guy, from what I'm hearing, they're trying to make it sound as though the main protagonist is the worst character that you can root for because of the false rape allegation and the fact that he owns a slave. So he's the worst type of person you can follow behind. But that's not within context of the show, the source material, or what the viewers are seeing. That's just what 10 or 20 seconds of a clip that a person saw, paused it, and then went to Reddit and went to the
No,
whole
no, no, no,
racist.
no. You're giving them too much credit. I don't even think they went as far as to even watch the show. I think they just it just word of mouth because let's be real here. Most of the time, like I said with Goblin Slayer, I don't even think people actually read the first chapter. They just saw somebody posted a
Because if they would
screenshot
have
of it.
read the chapters, they would have made a big issue about it before it was animated. But then they wait until it's animated to make a big deal about it.
But I mean, that's just what's been happening with anime in general. People are just it's not what I wanted, therefore it's bad, and I'll give you, because
I
it
mean, because
tackles
it's what?
topics
Because I've
that,
been watching Shield Hero for a minute. Like I'm caught up, and from what I've seen through context, no, it's like the false rape allegation thing that happened because of a feud between the main antagonist of the show who screwed him over in the very beginning of the show because he didn't uh it's a type of archetype that goes to this antagonist. And some of the older anime watchers, they know that one character, he or she, where they're clingy towards a person, but while they're clingy to the other person, they're screwing over everyone else in the process just because they're in love and whatnot, and they spoil or some shit like that. That's the archetype the main character is fighting up against, and it doesn't help the fact that the antagonist's father is the king of the whole entire country.
yeah.
So
And it's funny because I feel like the same people who are complaining about this are the same people that don't like Neon Genesis because Shinji's a bad character. And oh my gosh, like,
now, if you were to say Evangelion was can get stupid at times, yes, yes, it can.
yeah, but, it's
but
to say
but
that,
the over exaggeration, inserting politics into it, it's like no, no. When that person drew the picture in the book, he wasn't thinking about how to get coerced into a political dialogue. He or she just wanted to tell a story,
yeah.
whether it be painful or it's just reflecting of their childhood or their life experiences.
Ooh, actually, another good example was when Devilman Crybaby came out. See, Devilman Crybaby was a reboot and a retelling of the original Devilman uh, manga and anime. Now, the Devilman never actually got an anime. It just had an OVA that expressed the first like two arcs of the original manga. And but Devilman was already known for being controversial even when it came out. But
Yeah.
it was still successful, and it's still one of the most successful shonens of all time. And it tackles a lot of worse stuff than Shield Hero or Goblin Slayer's ever done. There's some stuff that goes on Devilman Crybaby and even the original Devilman that like people look past because and like and there was even controversy around that one, but it died quickly. Why? Simple, because of shipping. This had
So why? But then again, like, why are people holding on to this so long, though?
I think it's because it's no different from like when I was in high school
I
and
mean, because they can try as much as they can to get people not to watch the show, but in them trying to def- deflect people from watching it, they're actually making it worse by making more people interested into watching it because now instead of people getting disgusted and whatnot, they be like, huh,
yeah,
let
it's
me
no
see what this is.
yeah,
And then when they see what it is, they'll be all like, wait a minute, this and this happened. Why are you telling me something that didn't happen?
Yeah, and it's like I was gonna say, it's like going back to high school. Like it was so easy to hate on something, and sometimes you didn't even have a real reason. Like if I remember the best thing to do is just to hate Justin Bieber. Like I don't like his music. I don't listen to his music, but I used
I
to be
never
those people.
cared.
Like I used to be those people when I was in high school, and when he was like still fresh out, like with his career, the one thing I wanted to see was to see him fail. Just cause I saw other people say that he didn't like him. It's like, his music sucks, and it's just like, huh. And I look back, and it's like it's no different from what these people are trying to, argue. It's like they want to see Shield Hero like fail as a series,
But it's
but then they
not.
get mad that
It's not. I mean, originally I thought Shield Hero was going to be 12 episodes, but no, it's 24.
no, but like
So if it's 24 episodes, eventually there's going to be a season two down the lines, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. Unless the author passes because of some reason, there's going to be a season two.
yeah, there's just a point where I just kind of like I still hate stuff, but I don't make it my life's goal to make people not watch it or
I
read
mean, it'd
into
be
it.
be like me trying to convince a person not to play or watch Pokemon. That's a lost cause.
Okay, so there's only a few things I tell people not to do. The one thing I tell people to do is like my wife's brother recently wanted to get into Devil May Cry because 5 recently came out, and I told him, he asked me which ones to get into, and I told him 1, 3, 4. Stay away from 2, and he's like, why? What's wrong with 2? And it's
You
just
know you
like,
love it.
and the thing is that there are like so many people that want, like I don't even I told, like, I think he knows about the reboot, but I would tell people not to really go for the reboot either, just because it's not a faithful game. It's
No, it's trash.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that in like on a very older podcast. But that's the point is that I realize that there are so many people that would probably play it, and I can't stop them from doing it. I tell them not to do it, but like I really like I wouldn't even tell them to not play the reboot. The one I really don't want them to play is 2 because it's that bad.
But they'll
Like
be mildly curious and then try it out.
yeah, and then
They
they'll
want to
like
hold on to it, they'll hold on to it. If not, they move on to three.
yeah, and it's like there are people out there that don't like Mineta from My Hero. I don't have a problem with him. I'm indifferent. I actually
Well, I
I
still
actually want to
haven't
see
got
him.
caught up with My Hero
Yeah.
yet. Only
He's a
first
character
season.
that I don't mind seeing succeed because it's just like, yeah, he's a perv, but I mean, there's so many other perv characters, and they don't get as much flack. It's like everyone's like, but they're
It's not to love
teenagers.
her, as
It's
far
just
as
like,
I know.
yeah, he's a teenager too. He's being perverted amongst teenagers his age. It's not like he's an adult creeping on them.
Hormones.
Yeah, that's like, did you not have hormones when you like? Did your hormones not get out of whack when you were in high school? Like these people don't like, and then they use the argument that the person who made this character perverted is an adult because he's the manga artist. Therefore, he has control of his characters and blah. It's just like, okay, at this point, I don't even think you're talking like humans. Like, there's a lot of things that people have problems with certain series and everything, and I understand. Like, maybe you don't like the animation, maybe you don't like the story, but if it's so minor that it doesn't even like affect the overarching plot, I don't really see the me like. I used to be those ones that have been like, oh man, I'm tired of seeing Sword Art Online, cause like but it was popular. And I was like, you know what, I give up. I give up. If
I
people
mean,
want
you
to,
either gonna watch Sword Art or you're not, and you're gonna move on with your life.
yeah, no, cause what it was when you attach yourself to something like trying to get people to dislike something because of of what it represents. Oh, and then try to bring or even try to bring politics into it. for anything, what you're doing is you're restraining yourself from having fun, enjoying other things, to focus on hating on something that people won't even like. Just because you tell them about it doesn't mean. Chances are they're just gonna continue watching it. They'll be like, "Oh, I didn't know that." What makes you think that? What if they say, "Oh yeah, you're right. I'll stop watching it," and then just go back to watching it? Like,
Then what?
yeah, like I've done that. I've done that.
I mean, going
I've
back
done
to the
that. I've
whole.
said I'm not gonna do this because this said this, and then guess what do? I do it. Like it's like give people the benefit of the doubt. If they don't like it, they don't have to like it.
And also, just because you have taste that caters to you, that don't mean that your taste is gonna override the whole entire population of the planet.
Yeah, and
I
also,
mean,
and if it is, and if
because I
it's
can as much as I can recommend people to watch anime, by the end of the day, I can't make them watch it. I
no,
can't make them watch it,
dude,
nor can
I've
I can stop them from watching it. It'd be a fool's errand. It'd be like me trying to stop a Madden player from getting the next Madden game.
yeah, and that's the thing. I've stopped recommending stuff to people. Like I still recommend it to like my peers who are into certain stuff, but I don't recommend them stuff that they probably wouldn't be comfortable with if they've mentioned what they've been uncomfortable with. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's obvious. If a person doesn't want to watch a person getting ripped, then they're not gonna, go for it.
And the thing is
If
that
they're really uncomfortable with the subject matter, that's their decision to make. Not these people who try to say, "Oh, don't watch this because of because you never know. Some people can actually stomach that
yeah,
and watch it.
yeah, there's some stuff in
Now, whether or not they enjoy it, that's a different story.
yeah, and there's yeah,
That's on the person.
and just because you tolerate something like this much doesn't mean you tolerate another thing that's equally as bad, more or less. Like I still get kind of like I get when I see like animals getting like harmed, like I'm like ooh, like I'm kind of like I don't, especially dogs. Like I'm like oh no, I don't like
And
in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, especially in the like the earlier ones when there's a in part 3 there's one where like a guy kills a dog and it's like kind of bad, like right in front of the dog's owner,
another
like a little
thing
kid.
that people refuse to understand or just don't want to hear, that this one thing that you think is bad, 9 times out of 10, even if you were to solve the problem of what you deem is offensive, you're going to find something the next day anyway. There's always going to be something worse or down in the shadows.
Yeah,
You
and
just haven't looked deep enough.
yeah, the only thing I could
Like
write.
like say for instance, I how do I put it? It's like people think that's bad, but what about people think something like the scene from Goblin Slayer was bad, but what about the scene from Inuyasha? Not Inuyasha, but Inuyashiki, I
Inuyashiki.
think. Yeah,
Yeah, the
about that
dance.
dude who gets the weird powers and whatnot.
Yeah, when he massacres
What?
that family.
Yeah.
That part when he kills the dad. That part actually still makes me kind of feel uneasy, man.
Why? What do you say to that?
Only
Are you
mu-
gonna stop? Are you gonna try to stop them from distributing the DVDs? Because it's
no.
out on DVD right now for anyone to watch.
Terraform Mars is another one that I like. Okay, for the first season, but let me clarify. I like the first season, Terraform Mars. Stay away from season 2. It's terrible. But that one has a lot of like. There's a part where like, and I think we talked about it how you don't really like it, but like,
Nah.
yeah, yeah. But there's a part that makes me wince. It's when the one of the bug man twists the dude's head with the like, and pulls out the dude's spine, like his head's still connected to the spine perfectly. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's because
Haha, Mortal Kombat.
no,
But
no, no, no. I know, like no, but even in Mortal Kombat, that's I said there's Ermac's fatality in X actually made me go ooh. But like after a while, kind of like yeah, like it's just like eh. But that's the thing. After a while, it doesn't bother you. And again, it's still funny how like Mortal Kombat will have all like
you will still have your humanity. There will always be something that will take it up a notch. Because besides that scene from Inuyasha, there's
Inuyashiki.
there is a lot. There's a lot of other different anime that have messed up moments that I can list, manga as well.
Yeah,
But I don't. Where are you? These same people who are trying to crusade for these two animes. Where were you during the publication of Gantz? It's like where were you when the stuff in Berserk was going on?
and and I think the answer would be like, oh well, I didn't hear about it. Well, that's the thing. You don't hear about it. Maybe like, and that's could be the said same about people who are getting into it. Maybe they never actually heard about Goblin Slayer and they weren't really gonna watch it. But then you gave them that idea to go watch it, and then you just made somebody who was never gonna get into it, who probably doesn't like gore and all that subjects, and made them watch it because they thought to themselves, "Oh, I'm sure it's not that bad." Nobody really listens to warning signs. Nobody reads the instructions. Like, I think people underestimate the human mind and curiosity. Like,
You can
eventually,
tell people not to, but psychologically speaking, they're going to be morbidly interested, and then they're going to try to poke at whatever you try to tell them, thinking that, oh, surely you just it can't be that all.
there's like even for like the good animes, there are people like, please watch this show. It's really good. They put a lot of effort into it. It's like,
I mean, because I could say the most worst stuff I've seen would have to be Hell Girl,
hmm,
and not so much on how these people die, but just the depressing overtones and the whole fact on every episode someone's gonna die because of something stupid, but at the same time when the person dies there's actually somewhat realism to it, to where yeah, that can happen, like a teacher bullying on a student too much until the student snaps, and then you never see the teacher again, and then people
yeah.
don't hear about it. It's like, yeah, that's messed up, and that can happen.
Or people criticizing Persona 5 in the very first chapter where Kamoshida, uh, it's just like that's a
Yeah,
terrible.
conversations,
It's like,
it's
yeah,
terrible,
that's a
but
he's
that
a
can actually happen too. But again, where were you doing that?
how they
There are so many other things that are going on, but it's that whole premise that because you are trying to attack these two animes, you know what you're talking about,
it's
and people therefore by definition had to listen to you. No,
yeah it's
no,
but
because
really right now it's because Shield Hero is popular and it's doing well and it's the current thing. If it was an old series, nobody would talk about it. It
hmm
it's it's dumb. It's just it's again it's a bunch of high schoolers or people that act like high schoolers because I really hope that it's not people our age that are acting
oh
like
no, it
this.
is.
No,
It
you
is.
see,
We have a problem in the anime community to where even though said people are 21 and above, they still act as though they're like 12, or and it's like I can't believe they did this.
yeah,
People are dying.
or they use the
They're saying
excuse.
these weird words. They're talking about sex. And I was like, how
Like,
old are
like
you?
you're
22. I'm
you
like,
could say
oh,
you can't say sex out in public. I mean, I'm not saying you should just do it in public. I'm just saying this word. But anyway, the the it's just like another excuse they like to people like that like to use is like, oh, what if some a child sees it? And it's just like, if it's your
well, why
child,
would you?
if it's your
Why would
child, you're doing your
you
bad
do that?
parenting. Because
No, that's the better question. If you want to say, well, the child see it, it's like, well, why are you putting your child in front of it? Why are you doing it to begin with?
and if you think, oh,
And in
because
fact, do you have children? Should we take your children away from your smart ass?
and it's like, look, let's see, I think I was 12 or 10, and I watched Sin City. I actually don't remember what age I was. I think I was 12 or 13. I was in my teens. Anyway, I watched Sin City, and yeah, I mean that's not even the worst movie I've seen as younger. I think there are a lot of movies that I caught glimpses of when I was younger. I was not allowed to watch R-rated movies, and
What real though?
it's funny because some of the I didn't play M-rated games because like I didn't like most of the games I got were just ones that they just bought for to keep me occupied, and any games that I probably like, oh look, it's a game based on something I seen, so like, but
Some people can mature at different rates. Some people can handle different brain things. But I'm not. If I did have a kid, I'm gonna let them watch Goblin Slayer until they're freaking 14 or 15,
yeah, and but at the same time, sometimes like you gotta understand like
or
if they have,
or whenever they turn 13, at least.
but the thing
But
is
then
that
again, because they're not gonna tell me they're wild, they're gonna watch it. I mean, because that's what kids do. I mean, you try to say I wouldn't let them do it, but you know they're gonna figure
yeah,
it out
if they have
because we have the internet.
yeah, if they have access to it, that's they're more likely a chance to stumble
Like
upon
unless
it.
you looking over your child's shoulders 24/7, you're going to stop them from finding the stuff that you
Yeah,
don't want to see.
I mean, I honestly I didn't get like we had like a. I'm trying to think how did I even I started getting into like more adult theme anime when I was in high school, but I also had some friends that would watch certain animes, and then Adult Swim. I would watch on Adult Swim, and I knew I'd get in trouble if I caught watching Adult Swim. So but I also had I had older cousins that were
But the difference was whenever you see it, it was, how do I put it? You have two kids. Okay, here's a perfect example. So one kid, you know how they keep saying sugar makes kids hyper when it doesn't really make kids hyper. That's just the kid being stupid on purpose.
yeah.
So here's what it is. So on A, you give chocolate to the one kid, and then he eats it. He does nothing. He's just like, chocolate is good. Okay. And then he moves on. No hyperactive. He's not trying to jump all over the place. He still wants to play like a regular kid, but he's not like destroying things and whatnot. And while the other person, the kid like kid number two, he eats the chocolate and then it's like, oh my god, this is good. Oh my god,
He starts
it's like,
spazzing
bro,
out.
you're just chill. You're eating sugar. Chill. No, you don't get it. Now, you see how uncalled for that is.
Hmm.
I mean, realistically speaking, it's like that's not, you can't say that it's the it's the fall kid for having too much sugar inside of his system. No, that's not the sugar that's making him act crazy. That's the kid. And so it's the same thing when it comes to doing other stuff as you get older. Like say for instance, there are I'm not encouraging people to drink alcohol on this podcast. That's a disclaimer. So growing up, did you drink at all whatsoever, like beer, wine, or whatever?
Yeah.
And so you know what I'm talking about, to where you drink beer, you might get a little buzz, but you're not tripping. But that other dude, he guzzling that stuff, he jumping all over the place. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, I
bruh,
know exactly what you're talking about. Like honestly,
bruh.
when I tried alcohol for the beer for the first time, when I actually drank with friends, honestly just wanted to go home. It just because everybody there was depressing because they were adults. Like we were the only like high schoolers that like,
Yeah.
and it just I don't know like I didn't want to be with that crowd. They're just because they all they were doing was sitting by the fire and talking about like
Life.
not even I don't even know like they were just kind of sitting there. I guess you could say chilling, but like I'm a person like I kind of hate it. Like I try to go out with my friends as much as possible, but but reality hits, and sometimes they're just either too busy to do it. But like if I want to sit by a like, and that's what we do. Ironically, when I was younger, I didn't want to do that, but now when I one of my other friends I hang out with, he likes to put a fire outside and we just sit there and just talk or play darts. But that's because it's that's what you've grown accustomed to. Me, I was more the person that like if I want to be comfortable, like if I want to sit and chat and chill, I just like be in my room, play a fucking game because that's just how I was. That's what people who are into this kind of stuff just kind of do. I'm trying to.
But going back, that's essentially these analogies that I'm drawing up is essentially the problem that we have in the anime community. There are those who, whenever they see stuff, it's like, yes, that's messed up. Yes, that's twisted. But we can simply just say, okay, I'm not going to wild watch this anime. And if a person asks me about it, I'm just going to tell them straight up, it's not my anime. Watch it yourself. Whatever you take from it is your opinion, and whether or not you want to continue watching it is solely up to you.
Yeah.
But instead of being wholehearted like that, instead, we actually got people who are more on the lines of oh no, don't watch that show. It's horrible. It's sexist towards people. It does this, it does that, and it's like, okay, have you watched 6 episodes of it? No, I only watched the first episode of it.
Oh no, they don't even say
Okay,
no. I haven't even watched it. My friend told me about it, and then it
it's like if you haven't even watched it, why am I supposed to take your opinion at face value when you haven't even looked at it?
it's just one of those things where people just want to see drama
Now,
just
if it was
stirred up.
hentai, that's a different story.
It's funny.
I because
I
if someone were to say, hey, someone told me about this, and I happen to know that no, oh, don't do it, don't do it. They setting you up for a trap. But that's more understandable for hentai because people do that all the time. To where you bring up hentai and someone brings up the that one bad hentai that has some weird shit going
oh
on or some occult shit
oh wait
going on in
yeah
it.
yeah real quick. All right, I always found that weird that I've seen more people bring up hentai more than bring up and like be okay with it than bring up like a regular fucking anime like Shield Hero. Like,
But that's another question. Why aren't you bombasting hentai?
I don't know.
It's like, well, it's like perfect question. It's like you will say all this stuff about how bad these animes and how bad these video games are. Why aren't you talking about all forms of literature while you're at it? Why aren't you chastising books that have no pictures in it?
Yeah, but let me say it like this: everywhere, every form of media has these kind of people. In the movie industry, there's a lot of people that can't see an art film that's really expressive and has a lot of undertones and has a lot of deeper influences than what they show you on the screen. It takes a lot of thinking. I'm not saying it's super smart. I'm just saying like, oh, I didn't notice that the first time. Especially like, with the big, like, a big example is like Get Out. It has all the that movie like had like made people be like, oh, it has all these like subverted like ideals, and it's just like same thing like, but there'd be somebody out there that's just like, I didn't like Get Out because I didn't get it. It's like, but like even but I think Get Out's kind of a
Well,
bad
see, right there. It could be as simple as that. I didn't get it, so I'm gonna go watch something else. Why can't it just be that simple?
because nobody wants it to be that simple. There's too many like, especially like with YouTube and everything. There's too many like out- outlets that let people express why I didn't like this movie, and then a bunch of people who say you're right. I can't believe people would watch that movie come in and they just want to form this
You can't believe people can watch this movie, but people are gonna watch the movie anyway, whether you
like,
like it or
dude.
not.
There's that YouTube channel, uh, everything wrong with. It's just a guy just rant like it's just like he points out like minor things in movies that don't mean anything. Like, why did this character do this? And it ding, it counts as
Why can't you
an
just watch the movie and then give your opinions after the
or
movie?
not even. Nobody wants to hear your opinions. If they want to watch the movie, let them watch the movie. That's the thing. Like,
Because
it,
that's what ruins movies for me. To when I'm watching a movie and then you got that guy next to you that won't stop talking.
yeah. Like
It's like,
there
oh,
was a guy like talking when I went to go see Us and dating this podcast, but there was a guy, he wouldn't shut up. He also fucking farted like loudly, and I think I even over like he was like in front of me, and I think we over like my Nitzy overheard him saying um that, oh, you bet, like, did you think anybody heard that? It's like, nobody cares about your fart. Everybody wants to watch the fucking movie. That's what everyone came here for. And it's just like, that's the thing. People want attention. Like, they want to complain about these things and I think that's what it really boils all down to. Like, that's these people that are complaining, they're getting all that attention. They're getting a retweets. They're getting
that's
reblogs.
the sad thing though. For all that pandering, they're making it worser for when it's time to actually have the serious discussions. Because when it's time to have serious discussions, then they could easily be dismissed because it's like, oh, wait a minute, weren't you that one person that was like crying about that one cartoon from the East or something?
Or no,
But you
no, no,
want to
no,
have a serious
no, no, no.
conversation on the matter?
Yeah, the easiest one. Like, I'm gonna take advice from the anime avatar. Like, if you have an anime icon on your social media,
Yeah.
look, we all know that majority of anime icons have bad opinions, but that's because everybody has bad opinions, regardless of topics. I've said some stupid stuff. You've said some stupid stuff. Trying to be woke or whatever the topic or whatever the term is, or trying to be more like aware of what's going on in reality. Ooh, like, nobody's watching Shield Hero to remind themselves about how much what's
You
going on with real trending topics. Everybody's just people
you
that are
get
watch.
into literature and media to escape from reality, not to blindly just like, well, I saw this thing. It's like, wow, this is totally talking about this political topic that no one said in the episode, so that you were talking about.
Yeah, I think the worst one I've ever seen an example of was when JoJo was recently got an English dub and it was premiering on Adult Swim. And I think it was on the Adult Swim's Twitter, but everyone was saying, "Why does Dio look like Trump? Why? Oh, Dio. Why does the surprise, surprise, the main villain looks like Trump? Says a lot." And like this,
What?
yeah, this manga came out in
What?
the like the late '80s, early
Do looks like
Trump.
I'm not seeing it.
No, but that's the thing. People just want to
Even if that's like you can Photoshop and add it in there, but without Photoshop, I
because
just
he's
don't
blonde and
see
he
it.
wore a suit, and the easiest thing to do in 2016 was make anything compared to Trump or compare Trump to like any evil person or just like I looked it up because somebody asked me, "Hey, what were even the 2016 memes?" And I looked it up. Most of the memes had to do about the election. That said a lot about that year. I mean,
Yep.
obviously, like I know again, somebody's gonna say, "Well, duh," because but like, did every meme really
Because
have?
let me type this whole paragraph about my political views and expect like a person to like and follow me on my social media, because that's the thing what to do. I mean, it's not like we're just while watching a cartoon slash anime. Maybe
Yeah,
that's supposed to be an escape from that, but yeah,
I know we're like. I think this
let's
is
read the paragraph
yeah,
of
and
what you've got to say.
I think this is probably the most. I think this is one that everyone's gonna get. Is everyone's gonna get mad at like I started off talking about my really nice trip to Dallas. Then we just kind of like, but I mean, we were gonna talk about this topic anyway. It was a long topic coming, and honestly, we don't really get into like this kind of discussions as much as we should. I mean, as we
I mean, this is a video games and podcast. It's just something that's irritating me,
no, it's been
browsing around, like just looking at random stuff, and then to come across an article that people are bashing. They're still trying to bash. I know people. There's always going to be that one person that doesn't like whatever anime you watch. That's a given. But to have hatred set on the show for some idiotic reasons or out of context reasons just to promote propaganda,
no. The worst one
that
is
that
that
that's
they don't
stupid.
even. The worst one is that they don't even like anime, and it's just like, what are you even doing then? Why do you want to like?
Why are you wasting your time?
Yeah, like be more productive in the fields that you're interested in, man. Like you're not like I've noticed like it's this kind of topics. The reason why it's been bothering me is because when I go on Twitter, I just see like it's funny when I see some. I follow certain artists, and the art's really good, but sometimes they just like or retweet something that I didn't want. Like I don't really want to see, but I just scroll down. But the thing is, I've noticed sometimes I get curious and I look at what they've tweeted, and it has like
And
200.
then there's always that one dude that had or girl that has that wall of text that I can turn in as a homework assignment
Well,
for
no, 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 no.
English.
Hold on. Not even that, but whoever they tweeted or liked, it's like always like this thing that has like a lot of like retweets or likes, and then I look at the count that posted it, and they only got like 300, 1,000 followers. I'm not saying I got a lot of followers either, but my point is that it's not like they're not gonna grow overnight. That's all that people want. They want that like they want that taste of success. That person like that big tweet, that's the most they're gonna get out of that. Is that like and then they always reply with, "Oh man, I have this thing. Go check it out." Or if they don't, they're like, "Oh, I don't have a SoundCloud, but here's this. Here's a picture of my dog." It's like people want attention. Saying the dumbest, like saying anything dumb, like even what we're saying right now could get the wrong people that are attracted towards us, and we might get. But the thing is that some people like that because no, um, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Any publicity is good publicity.
Or shit, I could just pull a troll right now and just say I'm gonna keep watching Seal Hero.
No, not even that. And sometimes it is just trolls like, "Hey, Shield Hero sucks," and they just roll with that argument. Like,
Now a troll is a troll, which I say for trolls, troll away because if you trolling on some good things, we might join you. But
it,
if it's just a typical, it's popular, therefore it sucks. So let me say this sucks, so I can get a reaction. It's like okay,
yeah, and that's pretty much. But I mean, that's all it is. It's just the easiest thing to target is things that are popular, because nobody's gonna say, "Hey, you shouldn't play this like game." Like if somebody said, "Don't play Killer 7," it has a lot of very like topics that are inappropriate.
some people did.
Almost immediately, it would have been shut down because it's more niche. But if you said something like, "Hey, I should stop watching Sword Art Online because it has half naked underage characters," you can get a lot more following to that because it was popular and everybody loves a good shitstorm.
Yeah, you can say that, and some
Eh,
people will follow you, but people still gonna want to watch Sword Art. Whether again, it's like unless they do something completely outlandish that is outrageously not unacceptable, it's they're gonna keep going.
and
I
I'm not. I'm okay, and I'm gonna say like this. It's like I'm not defending Japan, but we got to remember, like they have a whole different mindset on things.
I
Like
wouldn't even
they're
say they got a different
I meant like
mindset.
culture
It's
wise.
like if you can watch Game of Thrones and look at all that stuff, you can watch whatever happened in anime. Because if you say there's nothing wrong with Game of Thrones, but then you'll flip it around and say there's something wrong with anime, then no, just no.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of movies that I've seen. I saw the.
And no, I actually enjoy Game of Thrones. I'm just
It's
using
an
that as
It's an
a
example. I
uh,
get it.
yeah.
Oh man. Well, uh, keep in mind, everybody. Like this is a late disclaimer into it, but remember, we here at Kaze-kan, under no pretenses, are professionals in this subject. We are just two dudes who a group of friends and a group of friends later on eventually if we have any more guests. It's late. So,
Passing upon the shitstorm.
yeah, we just feel like that's something that's been bothering us. Like me personally, I'm tired of seeing it, but
I mean,
eventually
cause who's
yeah,
to say that next season that we're gonna have this every anime season where it's gonna be that one anime, and then they find that one scene to take out of context and say, "See, this is why you need to stop watching anime." But then, there's nothing wrong if you watch. It's the double standard that I don't get.
but I mean it's always been there. So, I mean, look,
It's
I,
like
I,
we can't watch any violence dedicated to certain things, but then if we flip the script and it's a different context, but the same thing is happening. No, no, see, it's funny. No, if you want to say Seal Shield Hero bad, then this is bad too. It's like it being funny doesn't cover up the fact that it's doing the same thing that you accused all the other animes of doing.
Yeah, and keep it and also remember, not every anime is for everybody. So, I mean, if it's not your cup of tea, just let it go. The worst thing you can do is just keep trying
I
to
just call it bad back to one of our previous episodes. Another example is going back to that reporter. It's like this: the reporter wants to bash Dead or Alive because he wants to cite that Dead or Alive is quote unquote inappropriate. But then a few minutes later, he posts an article about how awesome it is to have a near nude mod of this fully ripped out dude wandering around beating the hell out of you with a half while you play as a half naked man roaming across a police department.
oh, the Mr. X.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the mod, but dear Lord, if we see us some skin on some females, you're the worst person that can ever exist.
No, but actually, real quick.
Hmm?
No, hold on. Okay, so I did that pause. So when I listen to this again, I know when to cut. I cut out that article part because that was the part where we started getting into the topic. So
Yeah,
I'll cut out the part where you say an earlier podcast, and just make it seem like we brought it up today on this topic.
yeah.
Because anyway, yeah, and it's funny because you bring up that it's funny that you bring up that mod about Mr. X, because I've seen like I follow a lot of Japanese artists on Twitter. And honestly, that's probably it. You again, ignorance is bliss. I understand that you can't live your life in ignorance because it just leads to more, misinformed things. But I follow these because I like their art, and it actually has inspired me. I follow this one guy, Japanese one where he's developing a game, and it actually inspires me to continue working on my stuff. But the thing is that there was a guy posted, like, I guess he modded Resident Evil, and like I forgot what it was, what the showcase was, but like he's showing off something, but he has a nude mod for Clairon. It's just like,
Hmm.
and it's funny because like I'm not gonna say there are
I
people
get
that
I get what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say is to your point. That Clara mod is stupid, but that Mr. X mod is not. What?
yeah, no. What I'm saying is
What?
that there it doesn't. So I was gonna say I didn't want to say that there aren't anybody complaining about it because there maybe are people that are complaining about it that are generally don't like it. But what I'm saying is that it's
I
not the
mean, I could
front head.
say I don't care about either of the mods because they stupid, but it's that double standard of that. Well, what I just said. It's like the Clara mod is stupid, but we need to promote the male mods. That's awesome. It's like no, no, that mod is just as stupid as the Claire mod.
Well,
Or going back to the whole point of the animes that we're talking about. If you gonna if you're gonna call out one anime or maybe a couple other animes out, but you don't want to bring up the other stuff that you've clearly looked past, then that's hypocritical.
yeah, especially when the stuff that you're interested in gets under fire, because it's
Yeah,
eh,
because we were up in front about how crazy Skyrim can get. We're not trying to pretend that all the there's nothing wrong with the Skyrim modding community, or there is no crazy mod that someone can find and put into their game. No.
Yeah.
It's like it's all I'm trying to say. We need to stop this whole double standard crap.
Yeah. And we're pretty sure our listeners know better, and we're not trying to force any opinion on you. We're just expressing how we feel about it. And I think it's about time we wrap this podcast up. We don't mean to get this heavy on certain topics, but it's something that will come up every so often. We'll try to keep it down if that's what the audience wants, but if they want to see more of it, we'll look into it. But we'll try to keep it a little bit more chill because that's what I felt like this podcast should be. So, and if,
I don't know. It was pretty chill to me. It's just
well, I mean, the subject matter, like the way we are tackling it, we're pretty just laid back. Like I'm in my chair, I'm comfortable. I'm just saying the topic is
yeah.
like we can be chill about it all we want, and I think that's really all it comes down to. Like we're not forcing anybody to change overnight. Like we're just letting you know that we just don't see
If you
what's the
don't want to,
point.
well, if
It
you don't want to watch Goblin Slayer, then simply don't watch Goblin Slayer. But if you want to have an actual discussion about the context of Goblin Slayer and what's going on, then I heavily suggest to watch the whole entire thing, and that way, when you have a conversation, it don't sound like you just pulling shit out of your ass.
or no, I would say to at least again. That's what I understand. Like that to like to use Goblin Slayer in an argument with only watching reading one chapter,
Not just Goblin Slayer, but
but like
any other
or yeah,
anime that you, if you have a
any
problem with said anime,
with a very heavy
then
topic.
before you even further and just go off the deep end and just start going wilding out, wait until you see the whole entire subject, you see the whole entire series, or you've seen a fair amount of episodes. Because to be fair, if it was like a long anime that's for like a long time, like One Piece, if you were like 50 episodes in and they had something serious going on, then okay, I give a pass on that, because that's like, well, whatever, because you know
Yeah,
that show's not going to end.
no, but
But if
like
this is like a 12 episode or 25 episode, at least finish the episode. That way you can come at whatever you're trying to talk about from all different angles.
yeah, and or don't be those people that like who go in who talk about a thing that happened in a mid episode or late episode, not like the very first episode. Because that just almost makes me believe that you really didn't watch the series. Like if, especially if somebody asks if you have, like
I
how,
because if you don't care to get the whole entire subject and context of the situation, then why should I or anyone else take what you have to say to heart?
yeah, I have, and I've put down at certain series because I lost interest in them. Don't be the like. Don't also at the same time. I understand if you would try to do an argument. Some people really do that. Like I did watch this. I watched the whole series to prove, like and it's just like don't hurt yourself. Like don't force yourself to watch something if you really don't like it, but just want to make an argument. If you didn't like it in the first episode, that's all you had to say. Because I think if you really do want to, but like I said, if you want to discuss things about it, I mean, be prepared that people are going to ask questions about later on in the series. Like,
Yeah,
it's just one of those things where, like, it's not gatekeeping. It's more along the lines of, like, all right, I just
it's
want,
like you
like,
want to talk about this,
like
but
you
what
said,
about this, this,
you
and
didn't like,
this?
like, if you told me you didn't like the series, that implies that you watched it. Like if you told me, "Oh, I never actually got into it. I couldn't stand the first episode." I'd be like, "You know what? All right." But if you told me, "I don't like that show. I didn't like the way it was going." It's just like and you didn't watch you only watched like one episode. I'm like it's really much all come down to phrasing.
Yep.
I couldn't get into this show. All right, thank you. That makes sense. More than I don't like that show. Especially mostly when you didn't in the context of you didn't actually watch it, but that's your opinion of it. All right, but it's getting late and we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
don't worry. We'll we'll probably have some more lighthearted topics next time for anybody who did not like this podcast episode specifically.
Insert your wall of text below the video.
It's fine. We don't judge. If you have a negative comment, just share it. It's fine. I'd rather learn from something than act like we're above you, you know. Cuz we are two guys like we are just creating a podcast about anime and video games. We're not exactly at the pinnacle of success here.
But if you want your community to grow, you have to criticize and have discussions that people don't want to talk about.
And that's why I said I was open for negative comments.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not going to be like this 24/7. You know, this is just it's just a every so often kind when we have topics to bring up.
We could have talked about worse topics, but some of them I'd rather because with how long this podcast is going, we can go on for extra
Yeah,
hours.
this is just mostly about
So
I think the real point was is just that even though we went through a lot of other like I think
I'm
we
personally just tired of people just trying to politicize anime where it's not called for.
yeah, but that's a whole like that's just no matter what there's going to be people that do that. It's all they really know and you can't really fault them for that. It's just they're gonna do it, and the thing is that you're saying you're tired of it, and you know there'll be people out there that'll do it just to spite you.
Eh,
But you
which at
know,
that point they can do it. They can do it left and right, but what is that doing? It's like, what are you gaining from this at this point by just sitting, taking time out of your day, and just trying to nitpick every single anime you see, just to spread your political propaganda.
yeah,
It's
regardless of
like
either side, by the
instead of
way.
doing propaganda, I don't know, have a political discussion with people instead of trying to vent your frustrations on different medias.
Mm.
Like, say, for instance, if I wanted to talk about football, I talk about football. I mean, I don't just wait until we watch anime and then I start watching football. No, I just talk about football.
Yeah,
Can we go back to that? To where if you want to talk about politics, go somewhere else and talk about politics.
or at least if
Unless
unless the topic is brought up.
unless the anime unless the anime is specifically about becoming a politician or whatnot, go somewhere else with your politics. Just go somewhere else. Someone's willing to listen to you. It's okay. If that person just want to listen to you, go find someone else. There's always going to be someone. Go to Reddit. Go to the chan boards. Go somewhere. Someone's willing to listen to you. Just get it out of anime, please.
Yeah, well, that's why we just gotta. It's gonna be a point where we're just gonna have to move out into the Midwest, in the middle of nowhere, and just live in a log cabin, and carve our own anime figures out of the wood from the trees.
And fight off some bears.
And yeah, it's and climb up and sneak into bear caves to download torrents
Yeah.
just to get away from it all. On it, yeah. But and then I mean, and remember, you can also if you have a social, if you have a Twitter, you can mute words, and it'll still come. And the topics that you're trying to avoid will come up anyway
Oh, they'll
because.
figure it out some way.
No, I just that was a joke because I remember I muted Kingdom Hearts. I tried to mute every form of Kingdom Hearts 3 to avoid spoilers, and it didn't matter.
Nope. Someone said Kingdom Hearts 3. I looked the other way until
Yeah,
I played the game.
yeah,
And that's
I,
how I handled that.
yeah. I'm actually surprised that they didn't spoil like some like there was some stuff that didn't get spoiled. I'm really glad that it didn't get spoiled. But also sometimes the curiosity did get the better of me. I did watch like a video that had spoilers, but I listened to it. If that makes sense. Like I didn't actually watch it, so I don't know the context of what actually happened. I just heard what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, we need to wrap this up. I said that this is the third time. All right, everybody. Next week, I think we'll find some more topic. I mean, week after next, we'll figure out some more
So another
topics.
nah.
I think by then I'll probably have some more think. I haven't been able to catch up on any new games because I am currently broke. So it's really hard to get. Like I still want to give Devil May Cry 5. There's a lot of other games I need to get into. But
Hey, you
as
want me
for
to hook you
now,
up?
I'll try to catch up on. I'm caught up on Mob Psycho. I think the finale comes up in a few days. So maybe I'll talk about my overall reaction to Mob Psycho season 2.
I wouldn't be able to tell you about Mob Psycho because I don't care about Mob Psycho.
Yeah. Anyway, but we'll figure out some topics because we still have topics we said we were going to talk about. We never did, but it is what it is.
Yep.
All right, everybody. I'm your host.
We might have a special guest next time. Maybe.
Hopefully, yeah. Awesome couldn't come by tonight.
Yeah, he wanted to though.
Yeah. All right. Before I was so rudely interrupted, I'm your host, Ed Tama23.
And I'm Mean Mug.
We'll
So
see.
about that the other time, nah.
Oh, you got me. Oh, we'll see y'all later. Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Good night.